so much for coming. I think you could tell by the look on my dad's face how absolutely thrilled he is to see each and every one of you. So thank you so much. Yeah, and thanks for keeping it a surprise, because I truly think he was shocked. Right, Dad? Yeah. So my brother and I just want to say a few words for the man of the evening. Dad, we're so excited for you to start this new chapter in your life. No one deserves a break more than you do, so let's have a round of applause for Daddy. Just a forewarning, out of the both of us, I am the crier, so... but I'm going to try to keep it light and airy, so I'll spare you this time. So growing up, like most kids, I had no idea what my dad did for a living. I knew that he was a singer. I think anybody within a 10-mile radius knew that my dad was a singer. I knew that he performed on a stage, and we got to see him play, and that was really cool and awesome, but I didn't think there was any other jobs besides that. And I actually did have one, and I literally thought the name of his profession was Mr. Fix-It. And people would ask me in elementary school, "Oh, Nicola, what does your dad do for a living?" "Oh, he's a Mr. Fix-It. Master at popping on Barbie heads and fixing our bike wheels." He could fix anything, so that's really what I thought that he did. And it wasn't until we grew up that we really kind of understood, oh, he does much more than that. I think maybe one of the times that I started to realize how successful and how important my dad was, we were in the car. I don't know if my brother remembers this, but I think I was playing a game where I used to count how many times he said the F word in a conversation with a friend. I used to do that in the backseat, like 1, 2, 3. And then all of a sudden, I guess, a work person called him. So he did a complete 180, and it was, oh yes, of course, and the velocity of X, Y, and Z, and me and my brother were like, huh? What? So I think that's when we started to kind of understand that there was a whole different side to him, and he was also this very successful businessman, not just a Mr. Fix-It and a singer on a stage. So yeah, it all started to make sense. And I should have known that he had an important job because I've always known, how smart my father is. He is literally, and I'm not just saying it, I know I'm really biased, but he is the most intelligent man I've ever met in my intelligent person I've ever met in my entire life. Would you know it? And, in my eyes, whenever he drew a picture, I don't know if you know, he's very artistic, whenever he drew a picture, he was Pablo Picasso. Or whenever he helped us with our math homework, he was Albert Einstein. You always wanted him around when you had a tricky math homework, right, Mike? Yeah. And he always knew the answer to any question that I asked him. Dad, why is the sky blue? Oh, well, you see, Nicola, the air, atmosphere, and the molecular environment. Oh, okay. He's so smart, and he really always knew the answer to everything. So I should have known that he did something important and special. I tell people now, even to this day, that I've never met someone whose brain is so equally balanced. He's got that left side with his musical ability and his artistic side, but then he's got that right side with the logic and the mathematical abilities. It's kind of amazing to me. Usually you're one or the other, but my father is equally strong in both sides. It's amazing. Insane. So growing up, I understood that beautiful brain of his, mixed with hard work, is what has provided such a special life for my brother and I. And when I say hard work, I don't use that word lightly. He is truly the most hardworking man I think that I've ever come in contact with. And if you know him, which all of you do, he jumps from airport to gig, to job site in a different state, back to a gig, back to here, and then still makes it back to hang out with us for family parties. So he is the most hardworking man there is. And because of that hard work and that beautiful brain of his, we have had the most beautiful life. Bear with me here. Because of my dad, we've been able to go on countless family vacations. gotten to see the world and experience things that most other kids don't get to experience. I'm sure it has to do with my mom's travel book, too, that she has. But it wouldn't be possible without him. Besides vacations, we had birthday parties every single year. We've never missed a lavish birthday party. I think even like 23-year-old birthday parties. And we were the kids that got every single toy on our Christmas list because of my father. And I don't think that we ever took that for granted. I think we kind of always knew how lucky we were every day. And thank you, Dad. This is the part where I knew I'd get a little foggy, so sorry. I just want to say, standing here, that we're so thankful and grateful for the life that you've given to us. I mean, it goes on now into these recent days. We had a college education because of my father. He always valued education. Go to college, get a degree. And because of him, we also recently were able to have our dream weddings. So he's still providing for us now. But nothing would be possible without him. So not a minute goes by that we don't thank him for that hard work. Besides being extremely grateful, another word that comes to mind is pride. And I feel an immense amount of pride for my father. And it's so funny because to quote, I have the book on the table over there. Yeah, he wrote a book and he published a book. He autographed it for me about 4 years ago. And he wrote in the book, "Just always want you to be proud of me." And that's something that he always says, Are you proud of me? You guys proud of me? I hope I'm making you proud. And, to us it's kind of funny because how could we not be proud? I mean, if you think of his accomplishments from, billboards, hot new artist in the J-Lo days, and inventor of the year, and 3 patents, and becoming an ASME fellow, and writing that book, publishing that book, how is it possible for us not to be proud of him? So, Daddy, I'm very proud of you. Proud of myself for holding it together. Now I'm going to hand off the mic to my brother, and Daddy, I love you so much.
Round of applause for Nicola. Good job, Nicola. Held it together. Good job, good job. Now, normally I would wing it, and I would not have a piece of paper, but this is obviously a really important one, so I wanted to jot down a couple things. So, we really do want to take a moment just to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight. Whether we're coming in from Houston like Scotty, or we're coming from Lacey like Aunt Kathy and Uncle T. Obviously so many people came so far and so wide, and it really is a testament to the man with everybody here tonight. It's true to say that these are his favorite people in the world. I mean, you guys are it, and you're all here for him, and that really does make the difference. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, guys. So really, Nicola nailed it on the head when she said that my father was a Renaissance man. Again, how many people have a hit record in Let's Skate and a hit book in Closed Feed Water Heaters for Power Generation, a Working Guide? Good luck trying to read 3 pages of it. I can't figure it out, but again, smartest man in the room for sure. Yes, yeah. We couldn't dig up the J-Lo outfits for tonight, unfortunately. I know. I'm sorry to break the hearts out there. But again, his excellence in engineering, it truly speaks for itself. But I really do want to take a moment and just acknowledge how many hats this man wore back in the day. Not only is he a husband and he's a father, but I mean, he's the Uncle Michael. You might have other Uncle Michaels, but that doesn't mean shit. He's the Uncle Michael, and that's that. That's it. He's Brother Mike to everybody who's ever met them in his life, even if he's blood related to you or not. He's Brother Mike. That's it. Right? He's cuz to all the Denties, the Coronas, the Harrys, everybody, all the cousins. He's cuz, and that's that.
Emanuela, cuz.
That's it. He's the first Catapano to graduate college. I mean, again, setting the tone for all of us. That's it, right? That's it. He was our MYA basketball coach that led us to many a championship games. We never won those championship games, but we don't really gotta talk about that, right? He was our Mike the lifeguard that taught just about everybody in this room how to swim, how to body surf, how to navigate the beautiful waters of Seaside, New Jersey. I mean, that was him, right?
Look at my face.
That's it. Look at his face.
Look at my face.
He was the ringer for anything, and I mean anything artistic in school. You needed a book report with the cover the next day. You had to pass something literally by your teacher to just make it like you did it. My father would help you. He'd do it for you. No problem. He was our Saturday morning omelet maker.
Yeah.
Yep. Our Seaside Boardwalk snow cone specialist. And yes, he knew the difference between Coors and the Hawaiian shaved ice. There was a reason to go to one or the other, and he always had you there. If you needed a quarter, he had you. Whether it was a video game or a stand, it didn't matter if there was one of you or if there was 7 cousins. He not only had a quarter, he somehow had a quarter for everybody, so you all got to play.
Wait. 1, 2, 3.
That was, for everybody who doesn't know that, the only thing he would make you do on the boardwalk to get 4 quarters or $1 to play a stand or something was go to my mother and bother her by singing that song, and then you would get whatever quarter you wanted. He was our family boat captain. He was our crab catcher and our scuba instructor. All right. Our personal vodka and lemonade bartender on vacation. We've all had a couple of those. And by that, he's also our Santa Claus. And by that, I don't mean just figuratively in that we got everything we wanted, because I mean we did. But he was really like Clark Kent, and he dressed up like Santa Claus for the first 12 or 13 family Christmas parties we had. And we didn't know. Once you started getting to Cousin Joe and to Santi and Uncle Tito, then it became apparent. But all those years, we didn't know. We had no idea that it was him. We had no idea. He was the narrator of every vacation and life moment in all of our home movies. And it was really his chance to shine. You didn't realize it back then, just how much of it was really not suitable for kids or work anyway. But when you watch the home videos now, forget it. It's a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing.
And here we are!
Yeah, and it usually started with that, bro. Now, most importantly, of all these things, he was our human jukebox. Never the same song, and if it was the same song, it damn well wasn't the same line, and you always got a little bit something different, right? Now, every single day growing up, and I mean every single day, my father would come home, and I would hear him singing coming up the driveway. It signaled 2 things. 1, dinner had to be on the table, and if it wasn't in 15 minutes, good luck, he was going to McDonald's or Burger King or something else. Something horrible, he just wasn't waiting. It wasn't happening.
Who's with me?
More importantly, though...
Who's with me?
Yeah, who's with me, exactly. Yeah. And we would cheer every time. We would try to stall Mom to actually get the McDonald's and the Burger King. That would happen, for sure. Yeah. You didn't need a reason to go out and eat, that's for sure. But other than that, and all joking aside, really, secondly and more importantly, the one thing that you knew when you heard that song coming up the driveway was that your life was just about to get a whole lot brighter, certainly more comical, and just better. It really was. It was just that time in the night, just better. Now, the reason I say this, and I make these jokes, but really, I point out all these roles because he did all of this. He took on all of these roles, he wore all of these hats, and he did it willingly, and he did it better than anybody. He really did. But he did that all while also breaking his ass to really establish Power Effect into the business that it is today. And I really want to just say how proud he's been these past, I don't even know how many years is it. How many years? I forget. I don't know. But I want to take a moment to really just acknowledge Mary Jane and Paul and Bev back in the day, and Eric, Amy, and Herbie, Moose, Donnie, Freddie, Sean, Frankie, Johnny. I mean, I could name 1,500 people that have worked for Power Effect. Raise your hand if you've worked for Power Effect before. It's got to be at least half the room, right? I mean, everybody. But really the point of that is you did all of this, if you will. You wore all these hats, you established Power Effect as the powerhouse that it was, and you did it all while perfectly balancing a happy home. And I mean that. Now, I can't just give you all the credit there. We also have to thank Mom, wherever she is. Obviously, it all can't go there. He was the provider, but this was the boss. This was the boss. This was the wooden spoon. This was the rules. He was the fun. This was the keeping it all together. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't want to answer her.
Now, no, you didn't. You still don't. If you were here last night, you'd know. Now, I know plenty of people who never knew how their fathers were going to come home from work. And this is serious now. You never knew if a bad day was going to throw him off. He had a crap day at the office. He was going to come home and fly off the handle the first thing his kids did, right? And I can tell you that. My father, never. It never, ever happened. Every day, you got dad. Jeans and a Power Effect t-shirt, usually stained. Grimy sneakers or boots, never quite laced up right. He never really was fully shaved, just like kind of he is right now, always a 5 o'clock shadow, but always with a killer Aunt Laura haircut, always. That he combed, 1,500 times a day? Yeah, 1,500 times a day.
I still got mine.
Yep, he's doing good. I'll run out before he does, that's for damn sure. But he also had that big old silver briefcase, which never died and scratched the wall up something fierce every time he came home, right? And a song. So really with that, I would love for everyone just to raise their glass real quick if you have something, please. Because we're going to give him something, right? Give him something.
Yeah, give him something.
Oh,
Like water.
he needs water.
Water.
He needs water. Kidney stones. You'll get there. All right.
Make sure it ain't orange juice.
So with that, everyone, I'd like to raise a toast to my father, the Mike Catapano, or as he would call himself in more recent years, the provider. Thank you, not only for your love, support, and guidance, for not only us, your family, but everybody in this room. Thank you for never, ever letting, and I mean ever letting, Mike from Power Effect get in the way of Michael, my husband, Dad, Uncle Michael, Brother Mike, and I mean most importantly, Mike from Chelo. Thank you. We were gonna save the Linda Wants, Linda Gets song for now, but we'll just give it to her. No, you're good.
You ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, Uncle Mike, that fee just went up to $10.
Everybody, put your hands together for Linda Casal Catapano. What a fantastic job she did for you. Come on, put your hands together.
Okay. I won't even try to top my two beautiful, wonderful children that my husband and I are so proud of and we love so very much. And I want to just go on record as saying it's not easy having to be the tough one, as our mother knows. And my mother would be the tough one, and my dad was Good Time Charlie, and everybody, not that they don't have my mother, but everybody was just like, oh, Dad's so much fun. And I said to him many years ago, this is not fair. Like, why do I have to be the one that has the discipline? I want to be the one that everybody loves to death, that the minute he comes in the door, it's like, Dad's home, Dad's home. And I did have a wooden spoon, I can't lie. And I was a disciplinarian, but I figured somebody had it if you want to have two beautiful children that grow up to be wonderful adults that you're very proud of. And Michael and I couldn't be more proud of our children. And I have to go on record also as just saying that it's like a testament to us, the lovely people that they chose to marry and their families, as you could tell, are at our table with us, table one. They're like our immediate family now. We love all of them, and we're so blessed that we have
Even
such
Ralph.
a wonderful relation with them.
Even Ralph.
So I personally just want to real quickly just thank my husband. I met him almost 42 years ago.
Cousin Tom.
And
Cousin Tom's fault.
all right. He has given me the opportunity really to have a wonderful life with my children, to be a stay-at-home mom, because he worked so hard that I could be that class mother, that I could always be involved in everything our children did. And it's memories for me that mean more to me than anything in the world, any material thing, anything, because to be able to grow as your children are growing up and be able to be home with them because of his hard work was, like, to me, the best gift he could have ever given me. And I love him very much for that. And I just want I mean, everybody that's in this room knows one thing about my husband, and I could never top what my children said about him. It's that every person that ever met my husband loves Michael to death. It's just like, Michael is the best guy. He's such a good guy. Like, everybody wants to be his friend. I mean, and it's just a wonderful thing, and I'm so blessed, and I really do thank God all the time for my family and my husband. And the thing that is so beautiful is that my family and all my in-laws who are not in-laws can say we're like one big happy family. Everybody gets along great. There's no issues. My mom and dad loved him like another son. My in-laws loved all my parents and my siblings and my children. Everybody is just one big happy family, and I can't tell you how happy I am about that. And that's a testament to Michael being the type of man he is, that he truly is just like one in a million, and I'm very, very proud of him. I honestly didn't think that I could love him anymore, and I'm gonna cry, than I did, but when my dad came and stayed with us, and my dad would light up at night and he'd be like, is Michael coming home? I want to watch the Yankees with him. And my husband, Michael, would just be like so good and kind and loving to my dad, and it just made me love him even more. And anyway, I'm just like, I thank God for my husband and my family. He deserves like to retire and do everything he wants to do, whether it's singing with his brother that he loves to do more than I think anything in the world, or fishing with his buddy Billy, that I have pictures to prove that Billy and Michael fished last night, and Billy got a 35-pound striped bass. It's the biggest fish I ever saw in my life. It really is. And we have the pictures to prove it. And I just want him to scuba dive and just take, just do whatever he wants to do. He earned it. He works extremely hard. He's been an excellent boss. The one time he had to fire somebody in 42 years, he was like sick to his stomach for like 2 weeks. He was like, I have to fire this guy. I can't fire him. I can't fire him. Like, he just, he's just the nicest guy.
I got your back.
And the thing is about Michael, and then I'm going to end it, is that everybody who knows him, and you all are so important, everybody in this room, I try to really reach out to people that I know mean something to Michael, whether it's his cousins, his friends he hasn't seen in a while. Like, I tried my best to get everybody here. I could have honestly had another 100 people here. I just couldn't do it. But I'm just so very, very proud of him, not only for being an excellent husband and father, but just even in his business, like my children said, so I won't really repeat it. He's so well respected. He makes light of it. But it's extremely hard to become a fellow in engineering, and he is one, and to be in the New Jersey Inventors Hall of Fame, and he is in there with Ray Noe, who he loved, and Mary Jane's dad, and I mean, he has so many accomplishments that we forget about it sometimes, because he's like, kind of like a good time Charlie and just sings all the time. No, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? All right, but he's very, very deep. And anyway, I just want to thank everybody for coming. And Mary Jane has a little special treat for him also, so I'm calling Mary Jane up here now. I think she's in the back. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody.
Hey guys, keep clapping real quick, because I want to thank really quick everybody that helped last night, today, everybody who baked, everybody who did everything, everybody who really helped us set up. And Sue, Laura, Lori, everybody, Kathy, I know, Karen and Ralph getting early, really, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
They said basically everything I was going to say. I just want to say I've been with Mike for almost 40 years, if I make it through this, and it's just bittersweet. We've built PowerFet from scratch. We went through bad times, lean times, a lot of good times, and a lot of laughs and a lot of fun, because this is the best person ever to work with in this kind of industry. It's boring. It's just.
You're not bored with me.
No, he just makes it fun, if that's possible. And it's just going to be really hard not having Mike as my partner to talk to. I'm not going to see him at his desk. I'm not going to hear him singing in the bathroom. And on the way to the bathroom. And his phone calls, which I know that his kids are aware of, where he has different accents and talks on the phone, depending on who he talks to. And I'm just going to miss all that. And the sweet part of this whole thing is that when he said to me, I'm going to retire, I said, why? What are you going to do? And he said, I want to pursue what I've been putting on the back burner all these years. I want to do my music. I want to write songs. And I just couldn't argue with him. I couldn't say, no, that's not a good thing to do. You have to go to the power plants. That's fun. So I didn't. I just said, I was so happy because he's worked so hard. And we've just worked hard getting PowerFet to where it is today. And the funny thing is, Friday was sort of our last day. And it turned out that we were together alone on Friday, which was really weird, because usually we got people in the office, right? And they were all out. And as we're answering the phone, me and him, and we're dealing with our car prices, I said, Mike, I go, do you realize, I said, we're all by ourselves answering the phone and dealing with stuff? And I said, this is where we started, like 40 years ago, all by ourselves. And it got very emotional. And he said, well, I'll still come and see you. And I said, okay. And I just wanted to say, they mentioned his career. He became not only PowerFet and building PowerFet, but he literally became an expert in the field. He became an SME, which I just realized last week what it was.
That son of a itch.
No, subject matter expert, not just in the United States, but worldwide. He has 3 patents, as you mentioned. He was Inventor of the Year with my father. He was chairman of the ASME, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers Power Division. He became a fellow, which is the highest honor that you could get in the ASME. He wrote that famous book, Clothes, Feedwater Heaters. It's on Amazon. If you want to get a copy, you get it.
It's 10 cents a copy.
And he wrote hundreds of articles and conferences. And I think most of all, he has the respect of his peers in this industry, which he earned, and they looked to him for advice. And so I just want to say that I put a little video together of Mike's life at PowerFet. It could have been longer, but we've been very busy these last few weeks. but and I don't know, it's going to be really weird without you, but you
Thanks,
are.
Dad. Thank you.